Okay, class, in lesson 6.3a, we used proportions to find the part. In this lesson, we are going to use proportions, only this time we're going to find the whole, and then in the second part of the lesson, we're going to find the percent. The first part of the lesson, we're going to find the whole, which means we have to know the percent, we have to know the part. Again, we're back to percent over 100 equals part over whole. Remember, I said you've got to memorize that. Put it on a piece of paper that you can take with you wherever you go, or put it on an index card so that you can look at it, or find a place in your notebook where you have a special page for things you just really have to remember. But percent over 100 equals part over whole. Now, if we look at example 1, obviously this has to be the percent because there's a percent sign there. This of means the whole is coming next. This word is tells us the part is coming next. Now you got to be careful, which we'll point out in example 2. Look down there right away. Notice that here we start with the is, so this is the part. Here's the of, so this is the whole. So you got to be careful what you're looking for. Let's buzz back to example 1. 30%. Percent over 100 equals the part over the whole, which I do not know. I am going to reduce to 3/10. 3 times n is 3n. 10 times 45 is 450. Divide both sides by 3. That's an equation. So n is going to be 150. Let's look at example 2. Where's my percent? 15. 15 over 100, percent over 100 equals, is tells me the part, of tells me the whole, which I don't know, which is n. Would I reduce this one? Yes, I would. 3 over 20. Cross product. 3 times n is 3n. Now, 2 times 36. 2 times 36 is 72. And then the 0 from the 10 part of the 20. You have a one-step equation here. Divide both sides by 3. 3 into 72 goes 24. Now, the way I remember that is that 3 days is 72 hours. And then 3 into 0 is 0. So my number that I'm looking for here is 240. I'm going to hit extend page, and you are going to hit pause and do problem number 3. Here's the problem worked out. Again, I reduced my 80 over 100 to 4 over 5. If you didn't, you should still end up with a 35. It's just your numbers before n and your 140 will be different. Hopefully you got this right. If you did not, go back. What did you not pick up? Did you look for your clue word of is? Did you look for your clue word of? Let's move on to example 4. Now, example 4 is a story problem. We ask ourselves the same questions. Do I know the percent? Do I know the whole? Do I know the part? Number 4 says 35%, or 30 members, of an orchestra play violin. How many musicians are in the orchestra? Now ask yourself a question. Do you think everybody in the orchestra plays violin? No. But 30 of them do. So the 30 has to be the part. They've given you the percent, 35. So 35 over 100 equals the part, 30 over the whole, which I don't know. I want to know how many total musicians are in the orchestra. Would I reduce the 35 over 100? Yes, I would. I would reduce it to 7 over 20, and your numbers will be easier to deal with in many ways. Now, I'm kind of cramped here, so I'm going to work sideways. 7n equals 600. Now, this is where you're going to have to probably get your calculators out. And you're going to notice that it doesn't come out evenly. But you have to ask yourself a question. Are you going to get in trouble if you try to cut a musician into parts? Yes, you are. So remember that whenever you work with a remainder, you either ignore it completely, round up to the next one, or remember that you can sometimes use it. In this case, you cannot. We cannot have part of a person sitting there. So our best answer here is going to be 86 musicians. The second part of the lesson is very similar, only this time we're going to be working with finding the percent. So obviously that means that you will still be using percent over 100. Cannot emphasize enough how important it is that you know that. Percent over 100 equals part over whole. It's kind of like SOHCAHTOA. Remember, memorize it, go over it, go over it, go over it, so that you know it. Percent over 100 equals part over whole. I don't know, put a rhythm to it, make a rap about it, but somehow get it into your head. Percent over 100 equals part over whole. You have to be careful, though, that when you are finding the percent, your answer is going to need the percent sign. And that's where, again, you got to be thinking about what you're doing, not just mindlessly trying to follow a pattern. So let's look at example 1 on this part. Again, I'm looking for my clue words. It says, what percent? I don't know the percent. N over 100. Of tells me the whole is coming. So 1.25 is the whole. Is tells me the part is coming. More. Cross product. 1.25n equals 100. Now again, right away you should recognize, ding, 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 this is an equation. Divide both sides by 1.25. I'm going to have to go over here for my answer. N equals 80. Think, 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 think. We're trying to find the percent. So I need a percent sign. All right, at this time, I want you to hit pause, and you do example 2. And here is how problem number 2, or example number 2, should be worked out. Hopefully, again, you used your clues. If you have to, do your little circles, do your little triangles, whatever helps. And I might point out that if you've got 360 over 18, hopefully it kind of rings a bell with you that 18 goes into 36 2 times. Remember, we talked about it. Some mental math problems that are helpful to know are these. These are extremely helpful to know. So, by the way, is this one. All right, let's look at example 3. Yes, a story problem. 110 students participate in a middle school after-school program. There are 275 students in the middle school. Our question says, what percent? What percent? Now, here's the word of, so students has to be whole, participate in the after-school program. Now again, we don't know the percent. That's the N. And here's where we think. Are all of the students in the middle school program? Nope, just 110. 110 out of 275. We are going to cross product. 275 equals 110. 2 more zeros from multiplying by 100. Whoops, forgot my n. Divide both sides by 275. And n is going to equal 40. Here's where you gotta think. You need a label, because this is a story problem. And remember, you're finding percent, so that means you need a percent sign. That concludes lesson 6.3b. Catch you for the next one.